So, my point is, why can't, do you think, you know how the Romans, or for example Germany, they split up into two different countries? What if there was one major religion? Obviously, that's why people have so many views. What if there's one major religion, and that one major religion got split up into four major religions? You know, Buddhism, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. Because obviously, people, humans, they're so curious, right? They have the mind of their own. That's why they ask so many questions and stuff like that. So do you think that some religions are brought up by humans instead of, who they think they are? For example, gods.
Well, all religion has been created by humans.
In a sense.
Yeah, in a sense. All the teachings have been passed down and written down by humans. Whether they, it's a... With me, I believe in Norse, but, I believe in the Norse stuff. But at the same time, I also don't believe in it, if you know what I mean? I still believe in... there's still, like, the bit where, well, this could all be bullshit, there's no actual proof of gods or anything like that. And you could just say that the teachings are like a story, if you know what I mean? Like.
So is there a person on this planet that 1 million has not single doubt in their mind that God exists, that their God exists? Is there a single person on this planet? There is.
There is.
So what?
You will find them in all religions.
What stops us from doing that the same?
What do you mean? What stops what?
So what stops, obviously people want to believe, people want to be Christians, people want to be Muslim, but what stops them from, being Muslim and believing? Because I catch myself at times when I'm obviously trying to make a prayer, or I'm thinking about a game, and suddenly for some reason I think about God, and for some reason I think, fuck man, I'm sick right now, so anyway. Excuse the voice crack.
Yeah.
I catch myself at times where sorry, I'm getting distracted by this fucking cannon fire.
Anyway.
Sorry, what was I talking about again?
You catch yourself at times thinking about whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I catch myself at thinking at times of obviously God and stuff. So do you ever catch yourself thinking at times where you think nice about God, but then a second thought comes in your mind, like thinking something bad about God, and then that third mind is like third thought, sorry, is like, no, I didn't mean that, and that fourth thought is like, I did mean that. It's like a circle. It's a constant.
I haven't had that about God, but I've had that about something else. Not necessarily. I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but
too long, really long.
I've had it about something else where it's just kind of like in your head you said one thing, but then you've gone, wait, hang on a minute, no, I don't mean that. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've had that before. It's basically a couple years ago. I was friends with this girl, and one time, like, we were like sat on like the grass and stuff like that, and like, with other people, yada yada, and she pushed me away by my head, and I felt my neck crack. And obviously, I have anger issues, yeah.
You're like, fuck you. Why did you do that?
No, it's more like I sat up and slammed my fist into her stomach. Oh
my god!
No, do you know why? It's because when stuff like that happens, when occasionally stuff like that happens, I lose control. I lose control of myself. That's what happened in that situation.
Great topic. I want to explain something to you.
I did say I'm not proud of it, and I'm not proud of it. But I ended up later going out with this girl, dating this girl, and we've broken up and stuff now, yada yada yada. I was thinking about her while walking to school one day, and suddenly this voice in like the back of my head, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about what happened, and I was kind of feeling bad about it. But at the same time, I was also pissed off with her for reasons. And I thought to myself, I hope that caused permanent damage, right? That was the thought that was in my head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I instantly just went, wait, no, hang on a minute, no I don't. No. No. No I don't.
So there is an evil side of you. So listen to me. There is a concept. I don't want to say concept, but there in Islam there's a thought of obviously the devil, and there's no single person like for example, devil is the main person of evil. In Islam, it's a bunch of group of evil people. For example, a shaitan is the spawn of the devil. It's the devil's workers, right? And the devil's workers, or the shaitan, we'll say devil's workers in this case, are the people, or the free. I don't want to call them people because I think so badly of them.
Anyway.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Things.
But
beings.
things, yeah, beings. Yeah, they're beings that take control of you, and they can take control of you at any time. They're like, the other day I came across a post saying talking about four-dimensional beings. They're beings that we cannot see, but they see everything we do. So that brought up the question. Obviously, the thought you had about punching the girl in the stomach, things like that. Maybe, for example, if you're a Muslim, if you believe in that sort of thing, if you talk to another Muslim believer, they would definitely say the shaitan got into you, and the shaitan, as we said, is evil being of evil works.
Obviously, yeah. That it's the different religions' take on it. Obviously Norse mythology doesn't have something like that. But in Norse mythology you have Valhalla and you have Hell. Hell.
Oh, so Valhalla. What is Ragnarok? Is that anything to do with it?
Let me just delve into it real quick.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Valhalla is where men go who have died honorably, like those who have died in battle, for example, right? That's where the people who, that's where the people go. That's where their spirits go, to Valhalla. And Valhalla it's huge, by the way. It's a huge hall. It's literally just a huge Viking long hall, right? It has 540 doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself is quite a lot. But each door is big enough to have 800 men walk abreast through it.
Oh.
Right? This place is huge.
Oh.
And all the men and women inside it are called the Einherjar, or those who fight alone. And they are the people who Odin will use as his army when Ragnarok comes.
Ragnarok is like the death day, right? I don't say death day, but like
exactly.
sentencing
It is.
day,
It's
right?
the end of the world. That's what it is. It's the end of the world.
The same thing happened. Like I can't dwell into the concept of Islam because it takes a lot more than just a couple of sentences to explain.
Yeah, same.
But as a concept, I should say, it after the first effects are obviously the sun sets from west to east, so it sets from east, it rises from east and sets into west, right? That's the first sign. Second sign is shading will be removed. It will be extremely hot on Earth, and everyone will die. And the non-believers or the bad people, they will start burning up, and the good people, they would find shade under the trees to sit under, so they won't burn up. The third day is everything will become dry. Everything will be a desert, and the fourth day is the I don't want to say devil. I'm not really that experienced.
I know.
I'm not too experienced. I don't want to tell you something that's not true, but in a concept, I guess the devil comes on the earth and he battles the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam with a sword, and he will kill, and the devil, I guess, in a way, will run away from him. When he kills them, people will be sent into sentencing day. That's the sentencing day. But I can also describe, Jannat. That's heaven for Muslims. I can just go ahead and describe that for you. But Jannat, in a sense, is not described visually. It's described what's in it, what awaits for you, how nice it is, how beautiful it is. Apparently, not apparently, but it is said that when you enter Janet, you'll be nice, you'll be beautiful, you won't sweat, everything will be you'll be tall, you'll be handsome, anything you will wish for will come true. Um, everything you get apples, you get fruit, delicious fruit, water that you've never tasted before. That's absolutely amazing. Apparently, that just cleanses your body, and it's just this whole it's the perfect world, right? Like no, everything's perfect. Like
Mm,
your life is perfect. You get perfect food, perfect water.
mm.
Um, so that is heaven. Can you go ahead and tell me what hell is like in North paganism?
In Norse mythology, hell is not really, in a way, much different, to like how you live now. It's hell is it's not.
Fiery,
No,
you know.
it's not. It's it's not a bad place. It's not a nice place at all, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not an
To
evil.
be, to
It's
be.
not an evil place.
Mm.
Like it's not evil. It's not a bad place. Obviously it's not pleasant in the slightest. But hell is where all those who have died without honor go. So those who have died of old age or disease, all those souls go there. That's where hell goes. No, that's where hell is. That's what hell
So,
is. It's just where everyone
so
else
you can
goes.
be. So North paganism values bravery and courageousness over,
And honor, yeah.
say,
Yeah.
mm.
If you die in battle, then you'll go to Valhalla. If you don't die in battle, you'll go to hell. That's why
So why would people fight and be brave when there's no difference between the two worlds they get sent to?
it's not that there's no difference. There is a difference. It's hell is a cold, dark place. It's not a nice place.
Oh, so
Whereas,
bravery is like honorary status, right? Like a pride status, like a badge you can flash around to everyone, right?
well, being in Valhalla means eternal feasting with you and your ancestors. Obviously, provided your ancestors died honorably. It means eternal feasting with them and with Odin and being with your gods. Being with Odin, and you know, being there, and it's a good
So
thing. It's a great thing.
how do you expect to go to Valhalla in a modern society where swords don't exist anymore? It's politically solved. It's everything's political. How would you go to Valhalla in a modern society? For example, would you go to Valhalla?
Um, I I would personally, what I believe is that you would obviously times have changed, and it obviously wouldn't be because what it used to be was if you have a sword in your hand when you die, you'll go to Valhalla, you know, and so Vikings would keep their half of their weapon or the handle of their weapon in their hands when they died, so they would go to Valhalla, and so in modern day, for example, say if I wanted to go to Valhalla, for me personally, what I would do is I would die with just a weapon in my hand, you know.
Any weapon, like a gun, like a. So it would make sense to serve in the army then, wouldn't it?
That's why I want to join. It's one of the reasons why I want to join the army. I want to be an officer in the army.
In the army.
Also, I think
Yeah.
the army is a calling for me. It's something that I want to do, something that I've wanted to do since I was little, you know.
Mm.
But I know it's not. It's not a nice. It's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to. You're going to see things that. It's gonna scar you. It's gonna. You know what I mean? Like I know it's not all.
Mm.
Good. It's not. There's horrible things, but I don't care about that. That's not a part of it for me. That doesn't bother me. That won't worry me. You know, like it's just that's something that I want to do. You know, like yeah.
Mm. Uh, You're a mom gay!
Any more?
Nah, good for now. Watch this. Ha! Oh, he's not. Oh, I got bamboozled.
It's
Ah, it's teaspoon. Okay, you're a mom gay.
it's
Wow, what a talk. Ah.
it's very complex, you know.
Hell in Islam is described as a place where you wouldn't even spend
Hell in
where you wouldn't spend 1 millisecond in. For example, like an Islamic preacher asked a man, "Would you spend 3 days in hell for eternal heaven?" And he said, "Yeah, I would." And he described it by saying, "The gates of hell." You know when you feel when you're standing on the other side of a doorway and there's a window open on the other side, and you feel that draft, right? You feel that draft of wind come through the window, to the other side of the door. Should I say? Sorry.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
When you feel that draft coming, when you're in front of the gates of hell, it's more torture. It's torture that's greater than any sort of punishment in the whole universe. And that's just a draft of the gates of hell.
Mhm.
So people think that, yeah, I can survive hell for 3 days. I mean, I've been through some tough road trips. You know, I've been in a car with zero AC, right? No air conditioning. But the truth is, you cannot survive 1 second in hell. That's how traumatizing it is. And that always, like, people have to be always reminded of how bad hell is, because people
It's
would eventually lose
nightmares.
faith. Oh my god, my voice crack's so real today.
It's a
Anyways,
place of nightmares.
place of nightmares, exactly. But it's 20 times worse than any nightmare you could ever imagine.
Mm.
I'm trying to describe to you the sheer horror of hell, described in Islam.
Well, it's different. I'm gonna close my ears now. It's different in Norse mythology. You know, it's different in that, as in the respect where hell is somewhere that you go. It's not a pleasant place to be, in the slightest. It's not a good place. It's cold, dark, and horrible. But you'll see in a lot of you know Christianity's depiction of hell is this fiery place. You know, in Norse mythology, it's not like that. It's nothing like that. So Norse mythology does have a fire world. It has a fire realm called Muspel or Muspelheim. You know, where I can't be asked to where where Surtur stands at the edge of Muspelheim with his flaming sword, with which he shall only leave his post when Ragnarok comes, and he shall come down to you know, and destroy, effectively burn the world and pave the way for a new one. You know, that's yeah. But there's a lot of unanswered questions in Norse mythology, and the reason for that is because they didn't write much down. It was more by word of mouth. You know, it was more telling stories and memorizing stories. And when those people eventually stopped believing in it and stopped telling those stories became lost. And that's why we don't know really very much about it. It's, you know, it's an old religion. It's old, and you know, there's not much known about it because not much was written down. Like all the stories that I know, they were all written down. Those were written down. And yeah, that's why we know them today. Otherwise, we wouldn't know these stories. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously with stuff like the Quran. it's a book, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a book. It's, you know, isn't it? Also, hasn't it got to be placed on like the highest shelf or something like that? I think something like that. You know, placed as highly as it can be. I think that was something with the Quran, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, but you have in your religion, it's all written down for you. It's all written. But in mine, much of it has been lost because
Mm-hmm.
it was all vocal. But if no one speaks to it anymore, then that becomes lost. That knowledge becomes lost. It's lost to the ages, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've forgotten the original question.
No, I get the point you're trying to make, but what is? I've lost my train of thought after I looked at someone's profile picture and I completely lost everything. But yeah, I definitely get your point. So does that make your religion any greater, any less valued than, let's say, some other religion? Because the story isn't, could be fake, it could be real, but you can't know because most of it has been lost.
There's also it doesn't make the religion any worse or any better. It's the same. If in a way, it's the same with the Quran. You know, you can't go back to that time. So if you think about it, you don't really know whether the Quran is just the ramblings of a madman, or a story, you know, or a legend, or
Yes.
whatever. You know, if you think about it, we don't know. It's about the faith, you know. Just because I don't know the stories of all the gods and the stories of Norse mythology, like, it's all detailed in the Bible. If you think about it, they're all stories in the Bible, in the Quran. They're all stories, and all the teachings and all the values. They're all stories, and it's like if there was a book for Norse mythology, it's like you have the book, but some of the pages are missing. Like, it's also
Yeah.
it's still most of it, you know, a lot of it is there, but also bits are missing. But the main points of it are there, and it's still a religion. It's still a thing. It's just that some of it's missing. You know, it's like if
Mm.
you. I know you would never do this, but for example, if you like ripped out some pages of your Quran, for example, you know, like, it's not something that you would choose to do, but it's like that. Like, you would still have a Quran. It's just not complete. Like, I still have Norse mythology. It's just not complete. You know, it doesn't make it any less of a religion. But if anything, it gives you more freedom. You know, more freedom to believe what you will. If it allows you to draw your own conclusions and draw your own, you know, your own conclusions to it. It allows you to interpret it in your own way.
So, what do you think about this? I know it's a random question, but what do you think about dark magic then? What's your thoughts on it? Does your religion mention anything about, dark magic? Obviously, there has to be something.
There is magic
Like some-
in Norse mythology.
Yeah.
There is dark magic in Norse mythology. Well, there is magic. There is.
So,
Personally, what I believe is that there is no light or dark magic. It's.
do you believe in magic as magic? Is magic real to you?
I believe that magic could well exist. It's just that we have, over time, lost the ability to manipulate it, to use it. You know, like, for example, levitating objects. We may have just lost that ability over time. You know.
Yeah, so what do you say to the people that are magicians that sell their soul to perform magic tricks? Like, have you seen that show where he disappears a car or something? He eats a whole car tire on show and nothing happens to him. Like, there's these that's just like one example. It's not even crazy. That's like one of the simplest tricks this man can do. But there's these tricks that he pulls off that are inhumane. They're not possible. There's no way he's pulling them off. It's not like having a card deck and making a card disappear. Imagine making 5 fucking tons of dirt disappear with just your hands. There's
Exactly.
no,
My thing
there's
is
an,
like it's. You can think there's a way to think of magic. You can think of magic as the air around you, and magicians manipulate it and use it to their own ends. And some people have retained that ability. Like, for example, that guy you were talking about, he has retained that ability. But as a people, as a race, we have mostly lost that ability over time. Some still retain it, but it is a mostly forgotten
so
practice.
if um, if that magic is real, why are people not teaching it? Like they can use it to, make the human race a better place. For example, removing garbage, and except for the fact that people can use it for
Well,
evil. Why don't people use it for good? Why do people only use it for power
there's
and
there could be several reasons why magic isn't in widespread use. It's You have the tinfoil hat theory of, oh, the government's keeping it secret, yada yada yada. Um, but like, there's
the tinfoil hat? Is that actually a thing? Because
mm, yeah,
the only
aliens will zap your
tinfoil
brain.
thing. Oh my
That's
god, dude, the tinfoil theory, or whatever it's called. The only reason I know of it is because I saw it in cartoons.
hmm
So
it's like
that's
it's
it.
like the conspiracy theorists,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like that. That's like what I'm thinking of. It's that, oh, the government's hiding it from you. That's the
Yep.
kind of thing that I'm going with it. But like, it's I don't know. There could just also be the reason that uh, you, you said, why don't people use it to like get rid of rubbish and stuff like that? It's not that simple. Magic
And why not?
because there's elements of science in it. There's elements of science in everything. So obviously you have like you cannot. It's effectively as Einstein said. You cannot destroy matter, and you cannot create matter. And you might say that, oh, if I, for example, blow someone up with a bomb, they're going to turn into a cloud of red mist that they're destroying.
Yeah.
That's
It's like burning. It's like burning wood, right? You always get ashes, and you can't burn that ash to get something else,
exactly. You cannot.
right?
But even if you blow someone up into effectively a cloud of red mist, if you turn someone into a cloud of red mist, for example, right, you haven't destroyed them. All their particles are still there. They're just in a different form. They're rearranged. It's like why with superheroes, like for example with Deadpool, he was once a pool of blood and he regenerated into him. It's a magic power if you think about it. It's a power where he has the ability to effectively rearrange his molecular structure into how he was before. You know, he's able to rearrange that. That's kind of what it is. But it's like he's not being destroyed. He's not lost matter, if you know what I mean. He's not.
Mm.
No matter has been destroyed. You cannot destroy it. That's why you can't simply just remove garbage. It has to be. You can't just remove it. It has to be.
I get it. I get it. I
I
get
mean,
it.
if you like, you can teleport it into the middle of the space, go nuts. That can also be, that can come under removing it. But, you can't just delete it out of existence. Like for example, you can
Yeah, but
carve an
it's
armor
it's
through.
it's yeah. The thing is, magic, as it's described, it's something that can make anything happen, right? So we can make anything happen with that quote unquote magic. So why can't we, make something disappear? Because obviously magic is something that breaks the laws of physics.
You can.
So
You can make something
exactly.
disappear. But it's not that it's disappeared. It's like with the common tricks, it's like you make for example like a coin disappear and then you pull it out somewhere else. Like if that was,
Mm.
it's obviously sleight of hand, yada yada yada. For most tricks it is. Um, like it's to do with sleight of hand. But if it was genuine magic, what it would be is it would not just be making it disappear, it would be teleporting it to another place. Like, if you
So-
say, for example, if you made 5 tons of dirt disappear with a click of your finger, you're not um, you know, making it disappear. It's effectively teleportation. It's using. What you could effectively do is turn all the particles of that dirt into photons of light that would fly out at the speed of light to another place and then rearrange. It's teleportation, but it's at the speed of light, so it makes it appear instant. If you know what I mean.
So why don't we've yet see an instance where people use it for good, right? We've yet to see an instance where someone does something magical, and the main reason is because most of the good things that happen in this world are regarded as not important. But when someone does something so crazy, that doesn't really do anything for the world. For example, making I don't know. For example, making 20 cars disappear or something. That's news. That's news apparently. So that brings up the question that's not related at all to religion, but can the human race at all save this planet? Because I'm sure you're smart. I'm sure you'll be able to.
Let's save the planet.
I mean, I'm sure you believe in global warming, right?
It's not whether I believe in it or not. It's a thing that's happening. Yes.
Yes, but there's people that don't believe. Like they pass it off as folktale.
And they're idiots.
No, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just trying to make sure that these fucking cunts are growing like every single day.
Yeah,
So
it's like with the anti-vaxxers.
Yeah,
yeah.
Did I fucking tell you my biology teacher is an anti-vax? I swear.
Anyway, do continue.
Sorry,
Is there a
fucking
way to
lost my
save the
train of
Earth?
thought. Is there a way to save the Earth? Because we're only 1 degree off from having tornadoes and hurricanes all across the globe, and elevating sea levels and stuff like that, just tsunamis and everything. Is there a way we've been given a 12-year time span to fix the world? Is that doable?
Yes, of course, it's doable. If
Yeah, but I don't think we can work together as a race. It's impossible. Like, the amount of things we've
it's the clear thing of, yes, the human race has a ridiculous number of differences, but think about it as a family, right? Everyone in that family is different, but they will all band together if they need to, right? So, for example, you could get every leader of every government in the world in the same room. That'd be a fucking big room, but
yeah.
you can get them all together and say, look, if we don't want to all die, we have to do this. We will do this for the need of our self-preservation.
Yeah, but the thing is, when will that office meeting come? Because it'll happen like 1 year before the effects of global warming, right? So when will people realize, hey, listen, we need to fucking do something?
What efforts are being made? I would say that efforts are being made to do this. It's just that it's not become, shall we say, widespread enough. It's not, and what it is that, for example, democracy in its just in of itself is very corrupt in a way. We live in most of the world we live in a capitalistic society, right? That is not. That is in some way blocking helping this, because people are saying, oh well, we will have to give up this, we'll lose money, we'll lose this, we'll lose that. It's about being selfless. It's about raising yourself up to the level of selflessness where you're putting your race's survival over your need. It's like for example, in it's the use of plastics and such, right?
Mm.
If everything stopped, if everyone stopped using plastics right now, like this very instant, people would lose ridiculous amounts of money. And that's what it is. People don't want to be losing that money, and so they don't want to support that. And so
Yeah.
because of all these fat cat like people like big CEOs and stuff like
But
that.
money one day will lose its value, right?
It's not that money will become devalued. It's not that money will become devalued. It's that because that stuff is stopped using. People won't want to do it because they will lose money. It's all about the greed of the humans and greed of humanity.
Yeah.
It's about like the greed and I want this for myself. I will put my hands up in the air and say yes, I can be very greedy at times. As can we all. It is something that is within our nature. We want things for ourselves. It's about self-preserve. You can strip all the fancy words of greed, yada yada yada, and jealousy. All it's about is self-preservation. But people haven't realized. People are ignorant of the fact. They're not looking beyond themselves. They're not looking beyond literally themselves. And it's the fact that they need to see that to preserve themselves, they need to make sacrifices, and to preserve themselves, they need to.
Sacrifices aren't like sacrifices in this case are money, right?
Yeah,
That's
in
not
this case, it's money.
that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make 10 times out of 10 every single time.
Exactly.
So
But
it's not even a sacrifice. We're losing nothing. It's paper. It has no. It's just clout. It's value. What value it poses to us? It's
what
nothing.
money is effectively a placeholder.
Money talks. Money talks.
Exactly. Well, it practically screams, but what money is it's a store of value. Like it's a store of value. So it's why we use money. So basically, if you want to, for example, sell. Let's use an example. If you want to sell a flock of sheep, right? Instead of bringing, and you have say 300 sheep, right? And you want to sell all these sheep, you won't bring those 300 sheep with you to market, will you?
Okay.
You will instead, you will trade them for something. You want something for those 300 sheep, and instead of getting something of equal value, like with trading and bartering, instead of getting stuff of like what you perceive to be of equal value, instead you'll get money, which you can then use. You get, for example, £5 or $5. I'm not saying that 300 sheep is worth $5, but
yeah.
but it's about like it's that placeholder. It's that.
So
It's
will we run out of animals though? You know what I'm saying? Like there's food. Like what will we eat? Problem of overpopulation, and that poses a threat every single day. I mean, people are fucking like rabbits. They're repopulating like rabbits.
Well, you see,
you know what I'm trying to say?
No, due to me being in a way, it's psychopathic, sociopathic. In a way, I believe that in a way, I have certain anti-vaccination beliefs.
Okay.
And I don't think it's a bad thing that we have vaccinations. I think it's a good thing that people are living.
Okay.
It's a good thing. People are living. People are living longer. But that brings up the issue of overpopulation. There's almost like a reason why disease exists, and there's a reason.
Okay, natural selection, right?
Exactly, natural selection. That's what it's about. It's about that natural selection. It's about the fittest and the strongest will survive. That's why natural selection.
But
That's what natural selection is, and that's almost a reason as to why disease exists. It's to weed out the weak.
So, would you say? So, obviously, the world wasn't made to be like this, right? It didn't plan
Yeah.
for humans to come on and, make
We're just a
intelligent
product of
civilizations.
evolution.
Okay?
It may go against what you believe, but a scientific fact is
Oh my
it goes against
god.
my beliefs as well. Don't worry about that. But we are a product of evolution. That is a fact. We have grown from single cellular organisms up to what we are now, and in what you would say the grand scheme of things, things such as monetary gain or monetary loss, those things are trivial. They're not important. But what is important is our survival as a species.
Okay.
Like,
Oh, what? Sorry, I'm playing NBA.
yes, well,
Yeah.
but like that's that's something that's important, and
Mm.
survival of the species. And I've forgotten the original point. I was trying to think. I've gone off on a tangent. I do this a lot.
No, it's alright, I'll do the same, I mean.
Yeah, but like, I'm probably because I've been recording this for like the past hour or so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a look back through this and probably I'm gonna edit out some bits here and there, in between stuff, and I'm gonna go. Damn, there's loads of points where we've just gone off on this massive tangent.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like we started from, we started from,
Discussion of religion up to
I'm pretty sure I just asked you. I just asked you, like, you were raised in a Christian house, like, you're no, and you said, no, I'm North. I was like, what is that? And we just started to go on this, you know.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
it started.
yeah.
That's how it's effectively how conversation works.
Mm.
But it's.
Oh, what? No way.
But my reasons for my anti-vaccination beliefs is that we need this. We need people to die. It sounds bad, but we need people to die.
What?
We need.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. We need to try to not save everyone.
Yeah, but Thanos. Like, when I watched Infinity
If you
War,
think about
Thanos,
it, though, hang on. If
he
you think
tried.
about it,
Sorry.
if
All
you
right.
think about it. Right. So, say for example, you've been in a car accident, right?
Okay,
Like
no
I
problem.
have personally, but and you are pretty screwed up, right? You're pretty messed up, and the doctors, they can save your life. They have the ability to save your life, but your quality of life will be much lower than it was before. Like, for example, those people who have lost the ability to walk and such, they now have a much reduced quality of life because of this. And it kind of thinks, well, maybe, they were meant to die in that
Yeah.
accident, and maybe we're prolonging suffering, which
Mm.
could well be inhumane.
Okay.
Like, we could just be prolonging their suffering, and that, maybe they were supposed to die in that, and if they did
But
die,
obviously, there's laws to protect the people so they don't die. I don't know if you ever watched Avengers. Thanos, his plan was to kill 50% of the universe and start all over again. And I thought it was a pretty good idea because I didn't judge him for that. That's okay because if I'm dying to a cause,
dying for a cause, yeah.
I'll do it. If
If
to be
it's
honest,
something
like,
that you believe in, that you believe is a cause worth dying for, and you would die for that, then there's nothing wrong with that,
mm,
But like, it's that we try and save everyone in this society, and that's just simply not possible. It's not possible.
yeah.
I know you could probably relate me to the Nazis for this and say that it's
No, I
no.
completely understand.
For my following statement after this, you could probably relate me to the Nazis in this respect, and you can say that it's horrible, it's inhumane. But Nazis had a policy of what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say extermination, but that's not quite right. Euthanization.
Genocide.
That's it. Euthanization. For disabled people. For the disabled, and in a way, if you think about it, it makes some sort of sense. If you think about it, as because what they
No, it
wanted,
definitely does. Yeah.
what they wanted was to be strong, to be strong, and this is gonna sound really bad, but like the quality of life.
You should probably cut this part out.
Nah. But like people, it sounds this is going to sound really bad, but it's not a bad idea. It's not necessarily ethical, mind. It's not morally right, I would say, nor is it morally wrong. It depends on your definition. It depends on your morals, but like, it's not a bad thing to euthanize the disabled, because it's strengthening your race as a whole. It's strengthening the human population, and you know the saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Yeah.
And if its weakest link, for example, is, I'm going to use a really bad example here, is a screaming Down syndrome kid, for example, right? If that's its weakest link, and every link around it is a standard functioning human, if you want the rest of them to survive, you need to cut out that weak link, and that's
Plus points for using the word weak link instead of Down syndrome kid.
you need to cut out that weak link. You need to ensure
Oh man,
survival.
this sounds so fucking wrong.
It does, doesn't it?
Man.
But this is why I said you could call me a Nazi for this. But I don't believe with the extermination of the Jews. That was stupid. That was Hitler being an absolute retard. But but like it's that weak link. It's the weak link in the population. It's also, if you think about it, it's a drain on the economy. It's, on the government's on it's a drain on money. It's a drain on resources that we could be putting to better use. For example, to control climate change. That money that goes towards those resources could be put to better use. I'm not saying that it's a bad use of it, but it's a better use for the human race.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Alright. Morally speaking, this is fucking wrong. But scientifically speaking, if we do not have the option to move to Mars, to another planet, this is the most reasonable option.
Exactly. It's the reason.
But the thing is, let's think further. Let's think ahead. What if let's say we go ahead and kill off 20% population in Africa, right? What will we do with the available space? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing with that?
What do we do with the available space? Obviously, that's a question of what is the best option for that space.
Obviously, Africa doesn't consume that much food, right? I mean, I'm just being honest. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Let's say if we kill 20% of the American, North America, right? They take up a lot of oil, a lot of food, a lot of everything.
A lot of natural resources, shall we say?
Yeah. So let's just take it back all the way to the 1800s. Diseases, people. There were no vaccinations. There was nothing. Oh Lord, that was a nasty dunk. Sorry.
Because I do history, I know that there was in fact a vaccination during the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know.
The vaccination for smallpox.
It wasn't widely available. Is that what I'm trying to say?
It was in the UK, but like anyway.
Shut the fuck up. My point.
It was a thing.
My point.
Anyway, I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say. Yes.
No, you fucking cunts! Oh my god!
Yeah, it's bits like
We're
this.
down by 10 again.
Anyway, do continue. You've lost your point now, haven't you?
Technically, if we kill 20% of the Americans, we have all these natural resources that are not getting used for stupid things. Okay, it's doable. We're down by 4. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. We don't.
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
Those natural resources aren't.
Can be put to a better use.
Yes,
Definitely.
can then be put to better use. Obviously, if it's stuff like oil, then we're going, these are finite resources. They're going to run out. But it's just that if we stop using it today, and they built up again, because if you think about it,
Yeah, but it takes so long for it. That's
yeah, but think about how old the world is, right?
okay.
Think of it.
It's 2019 years old. I'm joking.
Scientifically speaking, the world is 4 billion years old.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. And
Okay. What about?
if you think about it, new resources like coal and like oil is being made all the time, isn't it? Right?
Okay.
It's being created all the time. So it's not that they're going to run out. Yes, they will run out, but they will. It's not that they'll run out forever. It will eventually effectively regenerate. Those supplies of oil and coal will regenerate. They will come back. It's just that the amount of time that it takes to do so is very large, and it's that if we stopped using it and left it alone, maybe we'll find other ways around it that don't involve using those natural resources. Like they did, like before we had all this oil, we would do stuff in a much different way. Like we would instead of making, like for example, a plastic keyboard, it would be made out of something else. Like maybe a metal framing of the keyboard with wooden keys, for example. That's something that could happen. And it's about a different way maybe of doing things. And if stuff was back in,
Jesus.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Kind of went on another tangent, but
If we fucking give one more layup up, I'm killing all of you.
See, now that could be regarded as ethically wrong.
I don't give a fuck. They're being fucking stupid.
Anyway, is there any more that we need to speak of? Any more things to do with maybe
What about
society?
in my religion? Laughing at a Down syndrome kid. Player of the game, Paul Millsap. Are you fucking joking? He has 8 points. I have 24. What?
Anyway,
Yeah, we should exterminate the whole NBA. These people are making way too much money.
anyway,
Uh,
you were saying
Okay.
Down syndrome kid.
is considered it's considered wrong because that's God's creation. That's God's creation. You should not laugh at God's creation because that's the way God made that kid, right? Or that man, that woman. But to be honest, is that man or woman making any sort of difference? Like, I'm being completely honest. Like, who's gonna date? I don't know, a Down syndrome kid, right? Who's gonna start a family with a Down syndrome kid? They don't want the kids to be, Down syndrome or something. My point. Please make that. Please, please, please. Oh, you can't.
What it is, the reason why that is because I'm thinking, I'm being completely honest here, and it's from a purely, I would say, reason perspective, is that people see those types of people as
They take pity on them.
as weak. I would say they see them as weak, and that's the reason why they wouldn't want to start families with them and they don't want kids with those people is because they see them as weak. They may not say that they see them as weak. They may say a different reason, but internally, like without realizing it, in the human psyche, those people are regarded as weak, whether you admit it or not. That is how we see that. And that is why people look after them, stuff like that, because they would like to help the weak, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? But that's why people don't want kids with them, because they don't want their children to be weak. It's back to that. It's back to our instincts. It's our instinct of self-preservation and the preservation of our line and of our race. It's natural.
Yes. Sorry.
It is.
Take the ball. Thank you.
It is natural selection in a way. It's natural selection working there. People don't want children with those people because they believe that they, they believe that those children would be weak, and they don't want children to be weak. They want their children to be strong. They want their children to be, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. Kind of know what I'm
Yeah.
getting at there. It's
Yeah.
it may not necessarily be a conscious decision, but it's just
Definitely.
that's why people aren't necessarily attracted to people with disabilities such as Down syndrome, because they believe, like, instinctively, they see them as weak. They see them as weak. They don't want to. I sound like a fucking idiot. They don't want to procreate with with a weak person, because they want it's instinctive. It's the instinct of self-preservation. That's what it is, and the preservation of the race. That's what it is. That's why people aren't interested in that, in those types of people. It's because of that reason.
Man, GG.
Anyway,
Man, this is gonna be my team's first loss.
nice. Any more?
I mean, those people aren't really taking up any resources, are they? Like, one sandwich, like 3 sandwiches a day is nothing, right?
When I say resources, I mean, like, for example, for people with Down syndrome, I mean the resources such as, I wouldn't say carers, more the special facilities required to accommodate those people. Such as, for example, specialized schools, specialized materials, and if necessary, specialized chairs, like wheelchairs, for example, if they can't walk properly. That's what I mean by the use of resources. Like, the resources that could be put to better use elsewhere, or the money that is spent on those resources could be put to better use elsewhere. That's what I mean by that. Any more?
No, it's in. It's in.
I think that's it. We're done. Well,
Thank you for tuning into a podcast. You can join in. We do the podcast every Friday at 5 p.m. You can come and watch if you
there's no
please.
set times. This is just a thing that we decided to start doing. But the people listening to this, you may have joined in halfway through, because I didn't realize I'd actually pressed the record button. But you may have joined us halfway through our conversation, but you've been here for most of it. We've been sat here chatting for 2 hours now. This is easily going to be an hour and a half long, but thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for listening. I don't know where this will be, whether it will be on my channel or where else, but thank you very much for listening. If you have any thoughts of your own, feel free to put them down in the comments. And thank you very much for joining us, and I shall see you again, hopefully.